his alcohol use that night killed one of those sons. I still have visions of that young man and his parents sitting here in the courtroom, and I am affected, and I ask myself, why? I love driving a motorcycle. Have my cycle endorsement. I've had 3 motorcycles, but I've stopped for fear of this happening to me. Everybody says, be careful on that motorcycle, Mary. My brothers, who are funeral directors and embalmers, that encountered bodies that they would work on that came as a result of drunk drivers. Be careful on that motorcycle. I gave up motorcycling because of this very situation of being presented with something like this. So to move on the side, for the sake of the family, my fear of being on a motorcycle. So all these things come together to create a judge that has experienced every aspect of what goes on in this case. The drunk driving arrest, the serious injuries, the loss of life, seeing people dying at all ages from my youth on. And I try to focus on what is an appropriate sentence. But underneath all of it was your decision at the age of 21 to drink and drive. And if somehow we could create a movie, if somehow we could create a show to get people your age to recognize that, yes, this can happen to me. Yes, and your family apparently has experienced this type of death. Don't go out and do this behavior. Call your friend. We got Uber now. Call that, or is it Uber, whatever it's called. Call them. Let them drive you home. And you, by your own admission, has been smoking dope for how long? According to what I've read. What are you running from? What are you trying to escape from? Because that's why we drink. That's why I drink. And every day you wake up and I say, it's a new day, Mary. You can't go backwards. We can only go forward. We have to reflect on the past. We have to use the past as the fears and not to make the same mistakes again. That's where you're at with your life. And I remember the day that I was involved in my drunk driving accident. I remember what I went through. But the most serious thing and the most important thing that I remember is when I put my mother in a casket when she died at the age of 82, and the scar that I caused on her forehead was still there. And that causes me never, ever again to drink and or drive, especially under the influence of alcohol. And it's sad that we have to learn from those experiences and from those losses. But I am confident that the Lord gave me this job for a particular reason. For all of the experiences that I've had in my life, all of the preaching that I do that I know at times gets the attorneys angry because they want to get out of my courtroom. I feel a need to have to share my experiences in hopes of getting to someone like you to say that it has to stop today. And all of the people who I tried to save, who are killing themselves with the overdose of heroin, with the overdose of any other drug or alcohol that's killing them. To all the attorneys who get upset, oh well, too bad. You only got maybe another year dealing with me. But if I could save a life of which I hope now you wake up and you can save lives and use what I've experienced like I do sitting up here, sharing with everyone my mistakes, now it's your turn. It's your turn when you get out of prison, because that's where I'm going to have to put you, to get out and share your experiences and save other lives. To the family that lost their son, I am so sorry, because I understand that loss. To your family who will now lose a son for a few years as you are in prison, I'm sorry. For every action, there's a consequence. And this is certainly an unfortunate accident. But again, as Mr. Hunt said, it was a conscious decision on your part to go out, to get intoxicated, but more importantly, to get into that car and drive while under the influence of alcohol. So, I don't know if is it a good thing that you got me as a judge or not. I think it is, because for some reason the person I believe in, put us together. Put all of us in this courtroom together. I'm going to go along with the recommendation. There's nothing that will ever replace their son. Nothing that will bring him to the dinner table on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. So I find this recommendation very appropriate, counsel, and I ask, do you want me to proceed, or would your client like for me to set the matter for trial?
One moment, Your Honor.
I accept the sentencing, Your Honor.
The policy of the state of Michigan favors individualized sentencing for every convicted defendant. The sentence must be tailored to fit the particular circumstance of the case and the defendant. Tailoring the sentence to the offense and defendant, the court has gathered complete detailed information about the defendant. The court is satisfied with the reliability of the information received, satisfied that it is reasonably up to date, has determined it is competent as a sentencing consideration, and has resolved any challenges as to its accuracy in favor of the defendant. It's the sense of the court that you would be incarcerated for a period of 29 months to 15 years in the custody of the Michigan Department of Corrections. The restitution amount that is owed is $10,900.11 to the victim's family. There's a $60 DNA test fee, which you must pay, as well as have a DNA test, a $68 state fee, a $130 Crime Victim Rights Service Fund fee. And counsel, you are retained.
That's correct.
In determining the sentence for this defendant, the court has considered the discipline or punishment of the wrongdoer, the protection of society, the potential for rehabilitation of the defendant, the deterring of others from committing